Hello everybody, this is Davide Biocchi from Italy and I'm here for the midweek analysis of the global environment of the financial market and different asset classes. So first of all, let's start as usual with currencies. So let's start from the euro dollar that could be really interesting because the market really is now creating something like an attempt to consolidate a price around here. We don't know obviously if we will exit from the downside. That will mean a return around 1.10, 1.0980, or if it will move up and finally reach the target that we can clearly see at 1.15 that we have here. So this is for what concerning the euro dollar, but it's easy also to see something that can work on the GB pound against the US dollar, so the cable. That is again really interesting because we have seen even here that the dollar was weaker before, but now it's a little bit recovering as it is happening on the euro. Again here there is a consolidation of a price, so something that we can easily call the possibility for now going again long. The target will be look at this, will be around here, so 128.60, around this level, or if it will move down, in this case the target will be probably, in my opinion, around 921.70. This is the main target that we can have. But again, we can see the US dollar with the Canadian dollar, and it was similarly than before. Let me say there was a weaker moment of the dollar that we can easily see here. Then we had a recovery, but now it seems that the dollar here is going to be weaker than the Canadian one again. So the US dollar is now again weaker than the Canadian dollar, but let's see how it works. And let's see other interesting currencies like the Australian dollar against the US dollar here. So again we have something that is similar to what happened on the Canadian one. So the Australian dollar was very strong, then there was a recovery of a US dollar, and now it seems that the movement is trying to continue for the Australian dollar. So let's see also the New Zealand dollar compared to the US dollar. This currencies pair, it's really interesting and very similar again. So even here we have a very strong movement of the New Zealand dollar, then a little recovery from the dollar, and again the movement that is trying to go back. So looking at this, we can see that after some interesting movement, now it's a moment for a pause of the currencies market, and we are waiting to see what is going to happen. So let's switch right now to the commodities. The first one will be the crude oil. It's easy to see here that there was an attempt to go under the first support, that is $34 and something. Here we have the test and then the recovery. So now we have this crude oil in between the target price at $40 and the support around $44 and $50. So when we can trade in between these two levels, or we can wait for a breakout on the upside or on the downside. So it's really something interesting that we can see. And what about the gold? Well, the gold did again remain inside the main box, the big box that we can easily see here. The big box is more or less 1,670 around here, and 1,750 if we consider this price around here, or we can even go to 1,770 around here. So this is a very interesting box. I don't know exactly when this market can exit this box, but the moment it will do, it will be a fast movement, in my opinion. We can see easily something like this or like that in this case. So we can expect this market to offer us some really very interesting situation for trading. And Not so far is the situation of the silver. As you can see, the silver was and still is in an area of support that is a little bit around here. So the market came here, rebounded, and then rebounded again, and then tried here to rebound again. There was a test around the price of 17, okay, but now we can see that it's trying to move. So what if the market will break out this downtrend line? Well, I think that it will fastly recover a price after. So it's really interesting also the market of the commodities, but it's a market that is now getting a pause. Imagine we have a box, short-term box on the crude oil, we have a more long-term box, more than 2 months box on the gold, and then we have this interesting situation on the silver. Well, and starting from that, what about the stock indices? Well, let's start from the US NASDAQ. That is really interesting because again we are over the price of 10,000. So after this bad day, okay, when the market came down a lot in only one trading session, we have a recovery here, and we are now very close to the previous historical maximum that was realized more or less 1 week ago. So expectation is that there will be a trial to overtake the previous maximum. Let's see if the markets will be able to do that. Let's see also the situation connected to the S&P 500, the other important and interesting US stock indices. So it's really interesting because even here we had a recovery after this market coming down. Obviously, we have the market down in only one trading session, and now the recovery took 4 days, and we are not at the same level as before. So we will see if the market will offer us also some other opportunities for long trades, or we need to wait a little. But let's switch to the European situation, where we have a DAX that is in quite a similar situation if we compare it to the S&P 500. The DAX is not so far, okay, not as strong as the S&P 500 seemed to be, but really it works climbing up on this trend line. It's really interesting, the situation. So we expected the market coming down maybe to test this 11,200, but the market reacted here, so it was probably even something unexpected by trader, and now we very soon let's see if we are capable of to overtake the previous maximum. I think that it will go probably with the S&P 500. Parallelism with the two markets are really obvious, but for sure, for what we have seen right now, the Nasdaq is stronger and stronger than these two markets. But let's see, remaining in Europe, also the Euro Stock 50 that is not so far from the DAX itself. Let me say the DAX is more like this, okay. Well, let's say that the Nasdaq is like this, S&P 500 is like this, DAX is like this, and Euro Stock 50 is like this, and later we will see that the Italian market is more like this. So this is the Euro Stock, and it's very clear that we had a support here, and the market was very close to test the support, and that now we are trying to face the next resistance. So it seems, looking at all the markets, that we have some more space to grow, some more space in the chart, because I can consider that it can be interesting, a test of a previous maximum, to see if the markets will be able to react on them. So let's see as last the Italian market, that, as I told you before, is not, let me say, is even a little bit less of the Euro Stock 50, but what happened was that during the last trading session we have a very strong reaction here, then the market went down, but we reacted again, and we are not so far from the previous maximum. So the figure more or less is very similar if we compare the Italian market to the others. So let's see if we will be able to do a trial to overtake the previous maximum, and maybe why not to try to cover the gap that we have with this island that we have here, a little bit less than 22,000 points. So this was Davide Biocchi from Italy. Very happy to be here in this midweek let me say, analysis. See you soon. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.